Yanetrita Seta Sen Nukheka Nubraku Nupara Nukheka Discover Natarian philosophy through music, through video lectures, and through books by Sabai Dr. Muata Ashby. Peace be with you. Uja everyone, and Dua for joining for this special presentation. We'll begin with an opening prayer, as we usually do, and then we'll get to introduce the program and Kemet TV and move along. Om Amurapta. Om Amurapta.
Om Amurapta.
Om Amurapta.
Om Amurapta.
Om Amurapta.
Om Amurapta.
Ata.
Ata.
Let me go ahead and open up the presentation. I cannot see any of the chat or anything, so any questions, probably hold off until the end because I have a lot to present and have to make sure that all fits. And but you can post them, and then we'll go back and read in the chat section, or wait until you can unmute at the end to speak. So this is a special presentation on specifically the book Ancient Egyptian Economics, but it is that book is probably the last in a series that began with collapse of civilization and death of American empire. That was the original title. And then another book was written, Malfeasance and Immorality. And then another one, Dollar Crisis. And so it's really, we're dealing with the two books on the left, although the foundation is in the other books as well. So, but the topic is Ancient Egyptian Economics and Surviving the Coming Economic Collapse. So the ancient Egyptian philosophy about economics will be our concentration tonight, and then we will broach also the other aspect of why there is an economic collapse and what there is to be done about it. And so let's go ahead and move forward. Ancient Egyptian Economics and Surviving the Economic Collapse program plan, as I was starting to discuss there. First month, Ancient Egyptian Economics Principles and Current Economic Conditions. That's what we're going to be dealing with tonight. The second month, actual strategies for coping with economic downturn and where, when to start setting up an endowment. Means start making investment for building the wealth. As I'm going to discuss at the end, currently, I'll leave that to the end as to what to be done right now. Is it time to be jumping in or doing something, and I feel that it is not necessarily, but you again can make that decision. The third month and going forward, implementing the endowment strategy and updated with follow-ups. The program at the site, the blog, the discussion forum will be updated week by week or periodically, and to adjust and adapt to the economic conditions, and including some special. I didn't finish writing there. Special Q&A sessions that we might do periodically. maybe not monthly, but periodically. So optional opportunity, monthly or periodic. There is a discussion meeting discussing opportunities and keeping up with the news and market conditions. And also for moral support, for Kunum Nefer, to have other people who are, this is a subject that we don't talk about very much, and everyone is dealing with economic issues wherever you are. So it would be nice to have a discussion with others of the Nigerian community who are dealing with issues and thinking about these subjects, and everyone's input and ideas to help everyone else. Also, the psychic energy of support for everyone's well-being will be helpful as well, because building a endowment is there are some psychological components, because it deals with money, and money is something that a lot of people are ignorant about, and also there's fear of losing money, or fear of sometimes there's people who are afraid of making money. So this kind of discussion, this kind of Kunum Nefer, I think will be helpful to everyone in that context too. So let's start here. Again, this is from the book. Why has the subject of finances and economics become important? And the book, I think, was written, I didn't look at the date. I meant to look at the date of the publication. It was either just before or just after the 2008 market crash. And when I wrote the earlier books, I and many others thought that 2008 was going to be it. It was going to be the full collapse of the economy. But what they've done is that they have, and that happened because of malfeasance, because of corruption and a bubble economy. That's what led to 2008. And what they did was they doubled down. They engaged in more money, what is called money printing, money creation, or currency creation, shall we say, and lowering interest rates to falsely, fraudulently build up the economy. But now that has a tendency to destroy the currency. So the dollar is in crisis. But we're going to have the discussion about this further on. And now we seem to be reaching the end of the road. Maybe they'll pull out another rabbit out of the hat as a magician. But in any case, we are not looking to that, to demise and a full collapse and anything necessarily. We're taking steps to mitigate for that, but we're also really taking steps to use this opportunity, because of the downturn in the economy, is a special opportunity to build wealth. And that's what we are going to be dealing with, especially in lesson number 2. We're going to have more of that discussion. But we have to enlighten ourselves as to what money is, what currency is, what is going on in the world. And at the same time, we need to have Kunum Nefer, a good association, to keep our wits, and also to continue practicing the Shedi disciplines so that we can be mentally and spiritually strong as well. So the question continues, I thought the spiritual teachings and ancient Egyptian philosophy and money were separate. This is the question that was asked, that was put in the book. So my answer is, finances and money are an integral part of ancient Egyptian culture as an instrument for promoting Ma'at ethics in the form of the well-being of the Hekat, the people. The Hekat are the people, and the Heka is the Pera, or the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh was like a shepherd leading the flock, and monies were controlled righteously to promote the welfare of the people. In that tradition, we have applied the philosophy of Ma'atian economics to promote the well-being of those who are following this path, as well as those who may read the books so they may avoid financial trouble as much as possible and have better capacity to practice the teachings. Those are the two purposes that we have there, to avoid financial trouble as much as possible, and to enhance your capacity to practice the teachings. That's what wealth should be used for. In order to have a successful life, human beings need a certain amount of money and wealth, but money and wealth are not the goal of life. They are a foundation that enables the true goal of life, enlightenment, to be realized. In other words, you cannot easily realize the goal of enlightenment if you're down and out on the streets, or living under overpass, or begging on the streets and things like that. You need to have some wealth, ideally, some wealth in order to afford the things that are needed to have a healthy, balanced life that can spend time being introspective and practicing inner development. Therefore, we are only fulfilling the duty of the transmitting wisdom about wealth to promote Ma'at righteousness, truth, and well-being for all. This volume explores the mysteries of wealth based on the teachings of the sages of ancient Egypt, and the means to promote prosperity that allows a person to create the conditions for discovering inner peace and spiritual enlightenment. Etc. Peace. So we begin with this question.